Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I look so good. I know we just finished doing adult artistry, and I don't know if you've watched my video where I showed you how I do my makeup with a hand disability. Yeah, the lady in the video with me is adult artistry. So we just finished makeup date.
That's because I'm a fine girl. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, your skin is beautiful. Don't worry. Thank you. We're having our second makeup date. We are? Let me not give you things. I know me.
And so I thought to myself, oh, this makeup cannot go to waste. Let me film a video for you guys. And then as per my dress, what I'm wearing, this is the dress I told you guys about in my last video. I'm going to show you a full picture of the dress. So thanks to Adult Artistry for this look, and thanks to my dear sister for the dress. So now to this video. I had my first surgery ever. That was about 2 months ago, and I thought to share the story of how it all went down with you guys. So here goes nothing. Sometime in December 2016, I noticed some injuries, wound, you know, on my 2 big toes. They were bringing out pus, blood, fluid, whatever you can call them. And then, like I told you guys in my last video, it's usually like some kind of skin shedding. By the time they burst, yeah, I would have gotten new skin and all of that. So I thought to myself that, oh, this is probably one of those boils, you know, and so yeah, it will just get busted and I'll get new skin and everything goes back to normal. Normally I would apply some stuff and it will go without me even taking any drugs or tablets or anything, but this one was not going. I had taken antifungal drugs, you know, because some doctors, nurses, and what have you, they prescribed drugs for me. They looked at the toes, and I didn't go to the hospital. Yeah, I have to say that one. They prescribed drugs for me, and I took these drugs. I rubbed ointments that they prescribed, different stuffs, you know, antibiotics, and just when it looks like it's healing, it's like it comes back all over again. So it became frustrating. I was beginning to give up on the toes. In fact, I had given up on the toes such that I wouldn't even bother about the injuries anymore until probably someone comes and says, oh, there's blood on your toes. Oh, what's happening? What's this on your toes? And that's when I'll be like, oh, leave those toes, you know. I became nonchalant about it. I was tired. Now, fast forward to December 2019, that's when I first started talking about going to the hospital. Like between December 2016 and December 2019, I had used different drugs. I had looked at the toes, neglected them, looked at them, ignored them, and you know, back and forth like that. So December 2019, I was doing some research online about CMT. If you don't know what CMT is, it's the condition that I live with. I have a video where I talk about CMT, especially as it relates to me. I'm going to link it somewhere up here, yeah, so you guys can go watch the video if you haven't watched it. So I was doing some research about CMT, Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, and that's when I read an article or something that talked about how owing to the fact that we usually have lots of sensation in our legs and feet and all of that, that we are most likely to have injuries on our toes without being aware that we are injured. And that's when I thought about it. Oh, this injury came, I didn't even, you know, notice that it was there. And so the person who wrote the article, he said whenever stuff like that happen, we should try to see our foot doctors. And I'm like, what? There's something called a foot doctor on this earth, you know? That was my first time of hearing the word podiatrist, and I thought to myself, oh, for the past 3 years, I haven't been to a hospital. I haven't shown a foot doctor this. Probably I should go see one now. So we called some doctor that we know in the hospital, and we're like, oh, we need to see a foot doctor. And the man's like, oh, we don't have a foot doctor in our hospital, but if you have something like that on your toes, I would suggest you see either an orthopedic surgeon or a plastic surgeon. I thought about it. I'm like, I think I want to see a plastic surgeon instead. And so I went to the hospital. Now I don't even want to begin to talk about, you know, how the doors for these hospitals are narrow. Like, I don't even want to begin to talk about that. It's so annoying. You guys, this is a hospital, and then the wheelchair, I'm struggling to get into the offices because of how narrow your doors are. We met this female doctor. She looked at everything, asked me about the history, and then she had some of her colleagues, you know, answer some questions about it. And then she said, okay, that she's going to refer me to a plastic surgeon. Unfortunately for me, that's the day that plastic surgeons consult. So before she could finish attending to me and all of that, they had stopped consulting for the day. But then I went to see the doctor who told me to see a plastic surgeon. And he's like, oh, I know a plastic surgeon who's my friend. Let me introduce you to him. And I'm like, okay, good. So he introduces me to a plastic surgeon, and the plastic surgeon looks at my toes and he's like, okay, this is ingrown toenails. And, you know, he rang a bell because the female doctor I had seen initially already said that. She told me it was ingrown toenails. That was my first time of hearing something like that. And so the plastic surgeon said the same thing. And now he's like, okay, let me write down some drugs for you. He told me to take them till the next week when I would come for consultation. And so I went home, bought the drugs, started taking them. And then it looked like, oh, the toes were healing. You know, I was so excited. But then I'm like, oh yeah, I still have to go back to the hospital to have the doctor look at the toes very well. So the next week I went to the hospital, showed the doctor my toenails, and I also told them about the drugs that were prescribed for me the week before. They looked at them and the doctor told me the best option would be to conduct a surgery to remove the toenails entirely. And then, boy, my mouth was open like, for real? I'm going to have to remove my toenails? Like, he told me there were other options, but that was the best option for me. We looked at it and I'm like, okay, I'll take it since that's like the best option. Because the other option, he told me if he does all he needed to do, that there's every tendency that it will come back again. So I'm like, I want a permanent solution to all this. I've suffered enough for the past 3 years. And so he says, okay, let's book you for a surgery. When I heard the word surgery, I was like, oh my god, surgery. I've never had a surgery in my life before. So they booked me for a surgery for the 6th of March 2020. And so we went to prepare ourselves financially, mentally, psychologically, physically, and all of that. Yeah, so I went to prepare myself for the surgery for the next week. And then the doctor also sent me to do some tests. That was my first time doing all of these tests. He sent me to do an x-ray as well, just to be sure that the thing hadn't infected my bones. And so that was my first time doing an x-ray. I collected my x-ray results on the 5th. Yeah, that's when I thought to myself that, oh, I'll probably do a vlog, you know. Now I know this wasn't a major surgery, but then I didn't know what to expect. It was my first time doing a surgery, and I was okay. I wasn't scared, but then I just needed the thing to be over and done with so I could get my life back. Yeah. So on the 6th morning, I dressed up, went to the hospital, and I carried an extra cloth just in case. Because, man, I haven't done this before, but then I had to be prepared. Yeah, and I was told not to eat before coming to the hospital, so I didn't eat. When I got there, they gave me some cloth that I was going to wrap around my body. I was to remove the clothes I wore to come, and then wrap this cloth around my body. And then by the time I was done wrapping it around my body, I was looking like an afternoon man. Please tell me you know who an afternoon man is. You know who Josh Too Funny is, at least. Yeah, so, and if you know Josh Too Funny, please go tell him I'm now officially an afternoon one. I don't know, I joined them sometime 2 months ago. So yeah, I dressed up, prepared for the surgery, and I entered the theater that was sometime around 11:30. I didn't know that I wouldn't be allowed to vlog and make videos or take pictures and all of that. But then I'm like, okay, yeah, it's fine. I could just tell you guys the story. The theater looked something like this, with all these lights, and all these gadgets all around me. But boy, my doctor was a really, really cool doctor. He called someone to bring his music box when he was coming, his Bluetooth speaker. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, you guys are going to play music? He said, yeah, this is a 21st century surgery, So while the surgery was going on, music was being played. So at some point I forgot, even though I didn't forget I was in pain, but I was just tapping my fingers, to the rhythm of the song and all of that. So now, they laid me on the table to start the surgery. And then the doctor says he's going to inject me so I will not feel the pain and everything. And I'm like, okay. And so I lay on the table and they injected my first two. I screamed so loud, like I'd never experienced that pain. It was instant. And so after screaming, I calmed down for a while and the pain subsided. That was my first time of taking drip as well. In my entire life, that was my first time. So they put the drip, connected it, and we started the surgery. They injected the second leg. I screamed as well, and the doctor was surprised. It's like, are you still feeling pain? I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling the pain. He's like, oh no, you're not supposed to. I'm like, oh well, I am. So they started the surgery. I was awake, listening to the music, just wondering what was going on down there because I couldn't raise my head to see what was happening there. So I was just feeling, yeah. I even felt when they, dragged out my nail, removed my nail in the process and everything. I felt it. As I lay back on the whatever I was laying on, I was crying. Like the tears were just rolling down my eyes, just like you're lying down and tears are like, the tears couldn't come down. They were entering my, my ears. That's how I was crying. And, by the time he was done with my left toe, he moved to the right one. So they said the right one, finished doing it. I was still in pain. I was crying. But then I was listening to the music, listening to them talk and do their thing and all of that. So in the end, they're like, okay, we're done. The doctor even came to tease me and he looked at me and he's like, Jim, are you crying? I'm like, of course I'm crying. I'm like, how can you even be asking me that? I'm crying. So we laughed about it. We finished the surgery sometime like 12:30. We finished around 12:30. And then they waited for I don't know if that was a male nurse, to come take me to some ward, some place where they were supposed to register that was done with the surgery by so time, and then wait for the ambulance to come take me to the ward. So the male nurse came, took me to that place. I got there and the nurses attended to me, I had laid there for like 1 hour. Sometime around 1:30, my back started paining me, my waist. I needed to sit up because I had been lying on my back since, say, 11 o'clock, when the surgery started. So I called on the nurse there and I told her, okay, I need to sit up. And then she's like, oh, that she can't help me alone, that let her look for a male nurse to come assist her. She looked for a male nurse, she couldn't find a male nurse, and then she came back to tell me that she's not sure she can help me, that she can't carry me alone. And so I stayed there. I was, waiting and crying from the corner of my eye again. I couldn't do anything. I just laid back there and I was in pain. By the time I got in there, I was just like every other patient, lying on the bed. So they were not aware that I was a wheelchair user. But then I told them, and then I'm like, oh, I use a wheelchair before this time, and that's why I need your help, because I had been there for a long time, and if I was just there for say 1 hour, I could have helped myself. But it was like my body had been in this particular position, and trying to help myself up was going to be very difficult. So I laid there for a while, still crying, and then the chief nurse, a woman, came in, you know, and they were like telling her that this patient needs help, she needs to sit up, you know. And then the woman looked at me and she's like, do you want to break the waist of my young nurses? My friend that I should sit up, I should help myself up. And I'm like, hello, duh. You know, immediately she said that thing, I was so pained. What came out of my mouth was, for crying out loud, I already said I use a wheelchair and I cannot sit up, that I need help to sit up. You know, the woman picked offense and she's like, who is this one that is speaking plenty English? I thought, she's sorry, oh. The woman told me, sorry, oh, I'm going. You're not going to hear my voice again. Sorry for disturbing you, blah, blah, blah. And that's when she just moved aside. So anybody that comes in, she would just be telling the person that, oh, just look at this one, I was trying to help. And I'm like, I wasn't trying to be rude, neither was I being rude. I was just trying to tell you guys, I need help, I use a wheelchair already, and you know, blah, blah, blah. So, bros and sisters, I was there, you know, without any hope of getting help to sit up and all. So I was just there crying and wishing that, oh, I would leave that place sometime soon. But then, it wasn't going to happen until one of the nurses who I called on earlier, she looked at me and she's like, oh, I can't bear to see my patients cry. You know, this patient has been here crying in pain. And then she called another nurse and she's like, let's look for how to help this young lady. She's been here, she's been crying, she's been in pain and what. And so they helped me. I sat up, you know, after all the drama. They finally helped me and then I sat up. So I was there for a while, you know, trying to get some kind of relief. And then after a while, I needed to ease myself. Yeah. So they changed shifts. The nurses for evening shifts started coming. And so that's when I told the new nurse, I told her, oh, I need to ease myself. And she's like, oh, did the doctor catheterize you? And I'm like, no, I don't have on any catheter. Yeah. And so they're like, oh, how are we going to do it now? We have to help you, you know, how do you want to do it? And they're like, oh, can you help yourself do this? I'm like, no. Can you help yourself do this? No. All the questions they asked me, I was just saying no to them, because actually I couldn't help myself. I was in pain. I had just, you know, come out from a theater. I just, you know, undergone surgery, and my body wasn't, you know, my body was trying to adjust back to reality and everything. I couldn't help myself do a whole lot of things. And they're like, wow, so how do we help this patient now? And so they saw my doctor, you know, when he came to check up on me. They saw him and they're like, doc, you didn't catheterize the patient. The doctor was like, what's this patient still doing here? She's supposed to have left here a long time ago. We finished this surgery since 12:30. What is this patient still doing here? And, you know, they were trying to tell him that they've been waiting for porters and the ambulance to come get me and everything. So after all the back and forth, the doctor came back and he's like, okay, catheterize the patient, help her eat herself and everything. You know, in my mind, I'm like, if only they had done all these things faster, I would have been in my house right now. I would have been easing myself in the comfort of my home. But then they catheterized me. I was able to ease myself and everything. And then I lay back there. Brothers and sisters in Christ, I thought, you know, the porters were going to come, you know, sometime soon. I'm just going to cut this story short by telling you that I left that place to get to the ward. Like, all I've been waiting for was an ambulance. I left there by 5:30 p.m. So I lay there for 5 good hours. Yeah. Meanwhile, my dad and my sisters, they were outside, you know, waiting to see me and welcome me, you know, to know how it all went. The porter finally came. They took me straight into the ambulance, like into the stretcher. That was my first time in an ambulance as well. My sisters and I, we were like, thank God I entered into an ambulance alive, you know. So I was just so grateful to God that it had all ended. You know, I was to go to the ward and to get my bill so I could pay the bill and go back home. we got there, I had to sit and wait for them to prepare my bill. Meanwhile, as I got out from the ambulance, I was so excited to see my people back. Yeah.
You're there alive. That girl provoked you. That girl provoked you.
She video up my things that she things now. George was like,
Stop, my brother. I'm not going to show you. What? I don't know why it's what you're doing.
Oh, they bought food for me, so I ate part of the food, and then we started gisting, you know, talking. I started telling them about all the things that happened in there. And so while we were there gisting, one of the patients who I saw where I was coming from, she had a surgery somewhere around her stomach. So she called one of our friends who came to see me, and she started asking the lady, she's like, this your friend, is she a nurse? And the girl says no. She's like, is she a medical practitioner? I said no. She's like, so who is she? Like, what does she do? That she's surprised that I just, you know, I had just gone through a surgery and I was able to talk like that, you know, geez. I wasn't even looking like somebody that was in pain. And I'm like, duh, this is us. We even smile through our pains. I was in pain. Ah, God, I've never experienced that kind of pain in my life before. I know in my last video I told you about how I you know, tried to stand and it was so painful. That was my most painful experience. But I didn't know that, you know, I was going to experience something like this during this surgery. I'm telling you now that this was the most painful experience for me ever. You know, this has been my most painful experience ever. The bill was prepared 2 hours after. Yeah, like at 7:30, that's when I was preparing to enter the car to go to my house. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's how it all went down. Thank you for listening to my most painful experience ever. My first surgery, minor or major, I don't care, it was a surgery. Please do not forget to like this video, drop a comment, and if you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
My sister couldn't waste the day.
You know what I'm saying? I do. Of course. I'm gonna show them full picture. Bring your face. You want to say hi as they make out the dress?
No. Can you recognize yourself now?
I cannot.
You cannot.
Please, lights. I'm working with lights. Don't come from here again.